Hey folks, André here with Long and McQuaid. I have Luc from PeacePans from Hamilton, Ontario, and they are new to the Long and McQuaid family. They sell CanPans with us, and they've been selling pretty well. Luc is here to talk all about the pans, the making, the history, and yeah, we're really excited to have you. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you. This has been a long time coming for me. I'm super excited to be here with Long McQuaid. A big thank you. And let's dive in. I'm really excited to show you guys everything about the handpan today.
So you told me that this journey took you basically right out of high school into making instruments. Can you talk about your process?
Absolutely. So this is right out of high school. A friend actually showed me a video of a handpan and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. What is this UFO looking instrument?
Yeah.
And so I really wanted to play one. Originally musician, actually bought my first guitar at Long and McQuaid very young with my father. Anyway, so saw this video and I thought I'd really like to learn to play one of these. I reached out. At the time, there were 5 companies making these. These were developed in the late 90s, early 2000s. There was only 5 known makers at the time who were making these pans. And so I reached out to all of them in anticipation to get my first handpan. The average wait list at that time, since they were so new and it was gaining a lot of traction, you were looking at 20 to 30 years before you were going to get an instrument.
How's that even possible?
I know.
Really?
I could. Yeah. Actually, the one company, the original company, PanArt, what you had to do is submit a letter of why you think you deserve a handpan more than somebody else.
Are you serious?
And that's how they went about it.
No way.
Yeah.
That is absolutely crazy.
The other company, Halo, had a system where it was a lottery system. You would put your name in, and every month that you weren't chosen to be to have an instrument made, you got an extra vote in the lottery, an extra ticket.
No kidding. I had no idea they were that hard to come by.
Incredibly difficult. And this is what began my handpan making journey. I thought, well, I'm way too impatient for that. So
no
I
doubt.
started making them out of high school.
Right on. That is excellent.
I used to actually hammer them outside of a high school. I would go in the back alley of the high school. I would take an oil drum, flip it upside down, and start hammering it. This was 18 years old. I was doing this. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did you get out some tools and actually start cutting pieces out of the barrel and actually getting your own metal to start shaping?
It was really all just, the cutting happened afterwards. I tried to learn via the steel drum method, which steel drums are originally made with the oil drums. And I would just shape it into what I thought, my 18-year-old self thought was an appropriate instrument and try to make it. That eventually kind of felt like I wasn't really gaining much traction doing that. I actually wound up reaching back out to the 5 makers, to which one of them actually agreed to take me on as an apprentice.
Wow.
And then I went to California for 3 years to learn how to make it with another maker. This would be Zen handpans. After I learned some very necessary things that I needed to learn there, I came back and continued my journey for another 3 years before I felt that I was ready and felt proud and confident in my making skills. So 6 years total of learning how to make these.
Wow. So let's talk about the build process once you started doing it on your own. So what did you take on as far as kicking off the company and selling your first pan?
Well, really, I couldn't even believe it because I wasn't even anticipating necessarily selling or anything. Again, my whole journey with this is I really just wanted to be a musician. And as I started making them and the quality started getting good, I would go out and street perform and people actually really just loved it and they wanted to buy one. I couldn't believe it. And so I started selling them and really it was all just word of mouth. I spent so much of my time and energy perfecting the craft that I didn't really spend too much time online or anything developing much of an online presence. But luckily the pans speak for themselves and people go out and play them and everyone's really enjoying them. So it was all word of mouth until now. 13 years later, I'm here at Long and McQuaid, and it's been quite the journey, to say the least.
And what a company to get the word out and have it on our roster of products. I mean, lots of eyes on our website. Obviously, a lot of foot traffic in our 100+ stores across Canada.
So cool.
So a lot of people see these, and I must admit, when it comes to these kind of percussion instruments, and I'm just walking around the drum section, I'm always noodling, always playing with something these kind of instruments. So what has the traction been like once Long & McQuaid accepted your product?
Oh, I mean, it's been wonderful. I have Long & McQuaid clients who specifically reach out to me about questions about their pan and whatnot. So I'm always happy to help, the customers and whatnot. And yeah, I mean, it's been an incredible step in my journey, and it's been great for Long & McQuaid as well. So I'm just been really happy to see all of that flourish together.
Very cool. Now, between the CanPans and the custom PeacePans, can you talk a little bit about the line and what's available?
Yeah, so the difference between a custom PeacePan and a CanPan is the CanPans are halfway made overseas. I then get them untuned, and I do all of the very, very important tuning work. So this actually creates a really, really nice price to quality ratio, as I'm not doing all of the beginning steps of the process. And the difference between that and the PeacePan, of course, is the PeacePan is completely hand done. In terms of quality, of course, the PeacePan will be a slightly higher quality instrument. But without a doubt, it's easy to say that you get 90% of the way there with a CanPan, which is incredible. I've been super happy with this, with this pan.
Here's a question. Is CanPan just one pan with one tone, or are they different?
So for now, CanPan is the 9-note D Kurd, which in the handpan world is considered the ultimate best beginner pan to start with. You're going to find a lot of online resources that have mainly D Kurd as the tutorials. It also, and for good reason, it's a great pan to start with, as the center note has a nice bass tone, which we all gravitate towards as humans. We love the bass notes, but it also has incredible versatility in the side notes. And what that means is the note choices give us the ability to create a really emotional experience with the pan. So it gives us a good amount of tension and a good amount of resolve for having 9 notes. And so D Kurd is the pan that I've obviously played the most over the 13 years. And still to this day, I come up with beautiful progressions on the D Kurd. So it really moves through you in life. It's a great starter pan.
Yeah. The tones, the bends, just the sonic experience that's coming out of that pan, I'm hearing like more than a stereo field. It's actually amazing. That's why we set up these 2 microphones here, because I'm like, one mic's not going to do it justice. This is like a 360 experience when you hear it. It's actually incredible. Now, tuning. I don't see any tuning machine pegs around here, so how do you tune these?
Yeah, so how they're tuned is once you have the sheet of metal and you form it into a bowl, so you can kind of see, like this side is a good example. Imagine that there's no hole and this is a bowl. You then create these flat surface areas by pushing these outside of the walls. So technically, this is 2 sheets of metal, right? And so when you have the one sheet of metal inside the we call it the ring set, it's kind of a jig that holds the one sheet of metal. You're pushing from the inside here and pushing this metal to create these flat surface areas. If we push all the way around here, it'll naturally just bubble this into a tunable surface, we would call it. It's like kind of our blank canvas.
Gotcha.
And then once you have a blank canvas, this note is like super high pitch. It's got a lot of compressive stress. And so what we want to do is we use the hammer and we kind of hit around the note multiple times from the inside and outside, loosening it, bringing it down and down until it gets to our desired note.
So the inside and outside.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, the interesting thing about a handpan is each note actually has 3 frequencies that naturally exist inside the tone field. So if we use this one as an example, we have the fundamental do. We have the octave, which lives in the long axis. And then the 5th above it.
Oh, geez, are you kidding me?
Yeah, so we actually have to tune 3 frequencies at the same time. The fundamental, the octave, and the 5th.
You have to be kidding me.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so how it works is you can kind of think of it as a 3-sided Rubik's Cube. They're all algorithms that take a lot of practice to learn.
Yeah.
And when you're manipulating one part of the axis versus another, it's going to influence the whole tone field, of course. So there's certain algorithms that you learn so that when you hit in certain spots, everything comes together, just like a Rubik's Cube.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So That is a lot of and how many how many of these indentations we got? 2, 4, 6, what, 8?
8 plus
the
center
top.
note. Yeah.
So we're looking at
9 times 3.
what? Okay,
Yeah.
so that's a lot of very intricate tuning.
Yeah.
The only thing I could compare it to is the sympathetic strings on a sitar.
Right.
The first time I had to tune a sitar, by the time I was done, I had to go back to the first set of strings and retune those.
Absolutely.
Because it takes forever. So now what kind of, do you have a digital tuner that you have to use?
Yeah,
you must.
It's on my phone, and it's actually an app called Linotune. Linotune is like the best app possible for tuning steel because it actually reads the 3 frequencies at the same time. So when you're tuning, as a handpan tuner, you have to be listening to all 3 frequencies at the same time, and you can hear where they're going as you're hammering. Because when you're doing the algorithm, it might be I use a hammer. I think we have a hammer somewhere here. Is it here?
So there's a reason why these things look like UFOs, because you have to be an alien to tune these things. That's just, wow. That's
become an alien.
No, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, so what you do is, for example, if you hit this corner, it's going to affect more of the fundamental tone, whereas if you hit the long axis here, it's going to lengthen this area and actually lower the pitch of the octave tone.
Okay, that does make sense.
Right?
Yes,
It's all like simple physics in a sense, but it's very intricate art to get perfect.
It must be a specific hammer. Can you show the hammer?
So this is like a pretty standard hammer. I've actually cut the part that removes the nails, and I've also cut the hammer short, and I've added tape so that it doesn't scratch the material as I work.
Yeah.
And the reason why we cut the handle is because once we glue it, there's still tension that needs to be resolved.
Right.
And so what we do is we actually go in there with the hammer to work the material.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So you have to do it blindly as well, in case tuning wasn't hard enough.
Yeah,
you know?
no doubt. But the fact that you have to listen to 2 and 3 tones at the same time, you really have to sharpen your ears up for that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, really, that was a part of the 6-year journey, was even just learning about how the frequencies are moving and hearing it, and then also what is it that I want to hear.
Yeah.
Like there's certain frequencies that the octave can come out more, the fifth can come out more, and you want to make sure that the note is balanced and in tune.
Now, are there any analog tools out? Because obviously some of this stuff was pre-cell phone apps.
Right.
So are there analog tools like little tuning forks or something that they would use back in the day?
Yeah, so there's devices like the traditional steel drum tuners, and this app is based on that essentially. Okay. So,
very cool.
Which I need to get the name of that app, but very similar style to Linotune, essentially.
Absolutely fascinating. Can you give us just a quick little sample of the sounds we get out of this?
Absolutely, yeah.
So now I'm seeing that you're pushing to get that bend.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a very, very important aspect of a quality that I love to have in my instruments is that they all have a really good ability to what we call bending the ding. So this center note is called the ding.
Right.
And what we want to be able to do is isolate.
Because that's actually a
and
pretty
pitch bend.
big surface area at the top.
Right,
Right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. Yeah, that is amazing. So incredible. Beautiful.
you.
It sounds amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So your entire journey from high school to today, you said that was a 13-year journey?
Yeah, 13 years.
13 years. Wow. Good.
CanPan is something that I started just last year, where I have collaborated with a maker overseas who I was really, really impressed with his hand-hammered quality. And so he ships these to me unassembled.
Unassembled.
And then I do the assembling
Yeah.
and all the important tuning work, which
tuning.
is what creates that beautiful
Right.
price to quality ratio.
Got you. And all of these hammers are done overseas.
Exactly.
Okay, got
Yeah.
you. Very, very
Yeah.
cool.
But all the tuning is done by me, and that's
Yeah.
what you hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about materials here. Luke is going to run us through what kind of metals are used and the process. So, yes, what are we using for metals here? Because if you were to ask me, I'm like, hey, that's sheet metal. I have no idea beyond that. So,
Absolutely, yeah. So for years, handpans were made out of the low carbon steel, which used a nitriding process, which is essentially they release a gas onto the metal, creates a little bit of a coating. This created kind of like a clay pot. It almost feels like a clay pot. Very interesting. Those were all the original handpans, a lot of them made like that. Since time has evolved, the handpans have now switched more to making out of stainless steel.
I see.
So the difference between the two is stainless steel offers a lot longer sustain. And for
gotcha.
beginners to intermediates, this is a really desirable quality as we're generally playing a little slower. And so the cool thing about stainless is it fills the gaps,
Okay.
which is really nice. So you can play really softly and really get away with making the instrument sound very full. At the same time, the cool thing about stainless is even if I did decide to play a little bit quicker, it doesn't actually sound muddy. You can still clearly distinctively hear each chord. So ultimately it's been kind of the more standard material to use now is stainless steel. So that's what the CanPans are all made with stainless steel.
right. Yeah, they have beautiful tails on them, like the sustain. It's perfect. It's hard to describe.
Yeah,
but
thank
it's
you.
like this almost angelic experience that you're hearing coming out of this.
Right, yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so stainless steel, and if you're going to build a custom one, front to back, start to finish, how long would that take?
Roughly around 20 to 30 hours
20 to 30 hours
of hand hammering.
hand hammering. So from
Yeah.
blanks to deliverable,
Exactly.
20 hours?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. And now you mentioned in the beginning when you wanted to get into these that it was like a years to on a waiting list to buy these things. If you were to build a custom one, what's your turnaround time to make and sell?
Right. So to start, I will say the CanPans are all pretty well readily available.
Readily available. Yeah.
And so for my customs, right now my waiting list is around 5 months.
See, that's nothing compared to what you told me
Right.
before. 20 years.
Can you imagine waiting a lifetime for one of these?
No.
Oh.
By the time you got it, you'd be out of you wouldn't want to play it
Right.
anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a key point. The CanPans are all readily available. I was more interested in just the process, start to finish, how long it takes.
Absolutely, yeah. So, yeah, about 20 to 30 hours, depending on scale, the amount of notes and whatnot. We obviously have to stretch the metal more when there's more notes. And by stretching the metal more, we create more surface area. And more surface area means more room to fit things. It also does mean a naturally bigger instrument. That is one great thing about the CanPan is these are a medium-sized instrument. So they fit on the lap really, really well, while still maintaining a beautiful bass tone as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, size-wise, just curious, What is the smallest to largest pan you've ever made?
So the smallest pans that I make are 18 inches.
Yeah.
This one right here is the standard 21 inches.
21 inch.
Yeah,
okay.
and although 3 inches doesn't sound like a lot from 21 to 18, but you'd be actually really surprised how much smaller that fits on the lap.
Oh, okay.
Naturally, these notes, I can't quite get, for example, this scale in an 18 inch because this center note is so large that it kind of impedes on the notes here.
Of course.
And so yeah, like
and is that the biggest? 21 is as big as it gets?
they get a little bigger. So 22 would be, and I even know of some companies making 23 inches as well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you would want to play like a 23 inch. You'd want to play on a stand. It's going to feel like it wants to fall forward a lot.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Very good. Okay, and I'm just curious, what makes a good handpan?
So there's quite a few factors that come into what makes a good instrument. Oftentimes people see a handpan and they think, oh, it looks like a handpan, it must sound really good. And that isn't always the case. Even a pan that is perfect tuning doesn't even necessarily mean that it's going to sound good. And so what I mean by that is first we have stability. So stability is the ability for a note to maintain its tuning while we're striking it. So of course when you hear this, that note does not waver at all. Whereas in a lower quality instrument, what happens is you'll get and essentially it's just the compressive stress of the material is not balanced. And so it creates these wobble effects. And what that means is over time as well, the pan is much more likely to drift out of tune. All pans do slightly drift out of tune over time. And naturally, with the ones that are not tuned as properly, they'll drift out of tune much quicker, which means a lot more maintenance over time.
Right, gotcha.
Luckily, with the CanPan, you do get a lifetime warranty of retunes that I offer. So anytime your CanPan goes out of tune, I will fix it absolutely free.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's excellent. Okay. We're going to dive into some more sound samples here. And I want to thank you so much for coming in.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
That was a lot
André.
of fun.
Yeah.
And all the best with, your journey with the PeacePan, the CanPan, with Long and McQuaid. We are so happy to have you. Don't forget to like and subscribe at our channel. Really helps out our content. Click the links in the description below for product links at our website, and we will see you in the next video.
Thank you so much, Long and McQuaid. We'll see you.